Okay, good morning. We're carrying on from the Mishnah which we started yesterday. We started yesterday discussing the topic of Shmona Shortzim. Very briefly, we'll summarize what we learned. In the Hateva, to become Tomei, a person touches a dead animal, cow, the lion, a person's Tomei. But if you touch a small reptile, the one is not Tomei. The exception being the 8 Shortzim. Now the Gemara is going to tell us that these Shmona Shortzim, they have another exception, and that is that they have hides. Since they have hides, when the person beats them, the blood vessels that break get trapped between the hide, and one has actually done an Issa of Netilas Neshama. Says the Gemara like this: Midik Toni, Achoyvel ben Chayev. Since the Mishnah says that if a person wounds them on his chayev, they must have a hide, because if they do not have a hide, one will not be chayev, because one will not be doing the tiras neshama, because there's no blood. If the blood would burst, it would just go out of the skin. It must be that there's a hide that traps the blood, and one is doing the tiras neshama. Mantana. This is for a different nafkimina. The halacha is that hide, skin, is not metame, only flesh. So when it comes to halachas tumah v'tahara, the hide of a cow, the hide of a lion is not metame. Comes along Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuya and says that the hide of the Shmona Shortzim is not metame. Ma'ashenkin, according to the Chachamim, that is metame, because they hold that it's not a real skin, it's just part of the flesh. So therefore, since it's part of the flesh, therefore it is metame. Therefore, our Mishnah can't possibly be going like the Chachamim. Our Mishnah must be going like a Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuya. Rabbi Ba'avon Omar Rav, afilu teimu Rabbanon, ad kanem pligi Rabbanon alei Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuya l'ninyan tumah. Tichsiv eila hatzimeim lochem, Rabbi Shiur saying kibsot. Avli l'ninyan Shabbos, afilu Rabbanon moidu. Rav comes along. Rabbi Ba'avon, the name of Rav, says a very interesting point. That even though the Chachamim say that regarding tumah, they are Tomei. That means we do not consider the hide of the Shmona Shortzim as a distinct part, as a separate part from the flesh of the animal. But when it comes to Shabbos, they agree that there is a hide. Why would there be a difference? The answer is that in theory they actually agree with Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuya that these Shmona Shortzim, they have a distinct hide. And therefore in theory they should agree that it's not Tomei. Only the pasuk says Eila hatmeim. The Torah could have just said Eila tmeim. The extra letter Hey teaches us a riboy that the skins and the hides of these Shmona Shortzim, even though they're actually distinct and not part of the animal, nevertheless, that means they're not like the flesh of the animal. Nevertheless, they create tumah. Oh, so if you say that according to the Chachamim, all 8 should become Tomei. Why did they only say the last 4 Tomei? The answer is because the pasuk also says, Eila, these, Eila hatmeim, these are Tomei. Meaning, according to Rav, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuya holds that the Shmona Shortzim have oros. And the Chachamim agree they have oros. Oh, so if that's the case, then why do the Chachamim say that they are metame, these oros? The answer is only because of the extra letter Hey. Says more in Shabbos, do they not argue regarding Shabbos? According to Rav, everybody agrees that the Shmona Shortzim have got hides, and if one wounds them, then the blood is considered the tiras neshama. But Tanya, somebody who hunts, traps one of the Shmona Shortzim, and somebody wounds them, So there's 2 points to this price. Point number 1 is we see that they are arguing regarding Shabbos. And point number 2 is that the Brisa is a difficult one to understand. Because the Brisa from the outset seems to be saying something which is wrong. Because the Brisa says there's no skin except for the ones that Chachamim mentioned. Which are the ones that Chachamim mentioned? The ones that Chachamim mentioned in the Chulin, that they are Tomei. Now that's obviously Mishabesh to Rashi says. It's obviously difficult, this Brisa. Because the ones which are mentioned in the Chulin, they are the ones which don't have oil. Because they are the ones that Chachamim say are Tomei. again, something which is a proper hide, a proper skin, is not tummy because it's not part of the flesh of the animal. And in that Mishnah in the Chulin, it describes the ones that are become tummy, that are tummy than the skins. So obviously those are the ones that we consider that the skin is part of the flesh. So how can you say ein oy elamash manu chachamim? That's which the chachamim counted out. The ones that the chachamim counted out don't have skin, don't have a separate skin. It says more says ad rabel mash manu chachamim ein oy. Oma abaya hachi keoma ein oy choluk mibasa. It's not separate from the basa elamash manu chachamim. Only the ones chachamim mentioned. The one the chachamim mentioned, those are the ones that the chachamim never mentioned. Sheloi manu chachamim. The ones that chachamim never mentioned, the skin is considered separate from the basa. Says the Gemara. Now the Gemara is still tackling pshat in that brisa. That means that Abaye slipped in the word sheloi manu chachamim. The ones that chachamim never mentioned. Says Rava, the mistake of adding the extra words no is too far-fetched to add into a brisa, because that changes the entire brisa from yes to no. That the brisa will never do. A brisa will never make a mistake between saying masha manu chachamim le masha loy manu chachamim, because it's a fundamental mistake. Because if you say masha manu chachamim, you're saying that which chachamim did count out. Masha loy manu chachamim is what chachamim never counted out. That the brisa just says that the oy is not metame except for the ones which Chachamim mentioned. That means we're not discussing now Shabbos, we're discussing Tumah. And explains Rashi and Meiri and others that according to this, Rav has now actually answered at the same time the Kashon Rav again. Regarding Tumah, where everybody agrees, both Rav and Shmuel, there's machlekas between Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri and the Chachamim. Regarding Shabbos, Shmuel says the same machlekas regarding Tumah exists regarding Shabbos. And Rav says, no, it doesn't. We asked the kasha from a brisa which seems to say that the machlekas exists also regarding Shabbos. But we pointed out that the brisa is difficult to understand because the brisa seems to be saying incorrectly that which the Chachamim mentioned have skin. And we know that those are the ones that don't have skin. It says, that the way you read it is, we're going now to Hilchas Tumah V'Tahara. And only that we're talking about which the Chachamim mentioned. And therefore it comes out that regarding Shabbos, they never argued. Like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Anach Nami D'Lo Manu Chachamim Tamin. V'Oktani Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Oimesh Shmona Shotzim Yesh Nois V'Lo Metamin. They're not metamin. So it's mashma according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, they're not metamin because these Shmona Shotzim are considered separate. Elam Amar Avada Bar Master Toetz Hachi. This is how you have to read the brisa. There's no tumah, only four Chachamim mentioned. But regarding what Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri holds, that they all have. That means, according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, they all have skins, and therefore none of them are tummy. According to the Chachamim, the ones which are tamei are the ones which we mentioned in Chulin. So according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, none of the Shmona Shotzim skins are metamei, just the flesh. And according to the Chachamim, four of them are metamei. Vedic Moda Kati, in Shabbos, they did not argue about Shabbos. Somebody who hunts traps one of the Shmona Shotzim, which says in the Torah, and somebody injures and wounds the chayav. The shortzim only the shortzim that have got skins, hides. What is considered a wound? That what happens is the blood doesn't go away. That means what is a wound? A wound is when you bang so hard that the blood actually, it's the capillaries of the blood actually burst, and therefore the blood is actually considered dead blood, and it's just trapped behind that skin. That is considered a wound. And that is chaya because of netilas neshama, because it's a small form of killing. But masha'in kain, if it's got no flesh, no hide, so when the person hits it, what happens is the blood doesn't actually die; it just moves around. It just moves from one place to the other, and then that's not considered. Netilas neshama. Nitzra adam, if the blood gathers after shlo yotza, that is chaya. So you see that regarding Shabbos, they do argue. Not like Rav. That means now we've got three opinions. Let's get it clear. According to Rav, according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, all the Shmona Shrotzim have proper heights, both regarding Shabbos, both regarding Tumah. According to the Chachamim regarding Shabbos, they have heights. Regarding Tumah, because of the Eila Hatmeim, the extra letter Hey, 4 of them become Tomei, because those are the 4 which are mentioned in the second pasuk. Rabbi Yehuda, he has a different shit. He says we look at the skins themselves and we say, those that have a very, very thin hide and they are not really a thickness, so those are part of the flesh and therefore they don't become Tomei. So they do become Tomei, and regarding the Shabbos, there's no Isna Tilas Neshama. And those that have a thick hide, those are the ones that indeed it's chayav on Shabbos. That the toe is like a chuldo. That what happens is it's not tomei because it's the thickness of the hide is so strong. Therefore, it is not considered part of the flesh. Says earlier in the first brisa, which Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri was mechadash, that regarding Tumah they do have, that's Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, and regarding the Shabbos, this is chayva. That's not just Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, it's also the Chachamim. And it's more Tomah to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, or machlekusai. That means both Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri and the Chachamim that argue with him regarding Tumah. Regarding Shabbos, they agree that it is considered a chayva and one is chayav. And the only one who argues on our Mishnah of Shmona Shrotzim is Rabbi Yehuda, because Rabbi Yehuda says that 3 of them, which is Anoka, Koyach, and Chaymat, the last 3, their skins is so weak, their hides is so thin that they're not considered real hides. And therefore, if a person's chayv them on Shabbos, one is Sparta. Actually, according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri and the Chachamim, one is chayav. And it's only regarding Tumah that we have a special letter Hey, Hatmeim, that according to the Chachamim, they argue Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. But regarding us the Shabbos, Chachamim and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri both agree. According to Shmuel, Shmuel holds that even regarding Shabbos, the Chachamim argue Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, and they hold that there's no chayvel on the Shmona Shrotzim because it's not considered a proper skin. It's slightly easier. Levi asks Rabbi, how do we know that a wound is something that doesn't go back by itself? Because if you slap an animal and the skin gets a bit red and straight away goes back white, then you're not chayav because of wounding. You're only chayav of wounding if you do such a big bang, such a big hit, that what happens is that it never goes back to its original status. How do we know that? Because the pasuk says, the pasuk there is giving a marshal that Rishoyim don't change the spots. Like a leopard doesn't change his spots, like a black person doesn't change his color. Mustn't say this too loud, otherwise get a Black Lives Matter kind of argument with us. The fact is, the pasuk uses black people don't change the color, leopard doesn't change the spots, and the Rasha doesn't do tshuva so quickly. Now, the pasuk pshat in the pasuk would be that a leopard doesn't change the spots. And what's like this? We talk about the different colors on the leopard. Whenever the pasuk uses the word colors, uses the word gevonim, right? Gevonim means colors. Actually means wounds. Elo kikushi. We're talking about wounds. That if you wound a leopard, the wound will never go away. And you see, the fact that the pasuk compares the wounds of an animal to the color skin, to the black color skin of a black person, just like the color skin of a black person will never go white, so too, when the pasuk talks about wounds, the pasuk compares the two together. Now, if a person just slaps an animal and it goes red and then goes white and the color goes away straight away, that's not the same as a black person with his black skin, that the skin never changes color. The fact that the pasuk compares the wounds of the animal to the black skin of the kushi is a raya that we're talking about a wound that never goes away. If a person kills an animal, it says a person kills a rat, a mice on Shabbos, is chayav. Says the man Tana, who holds that if you kill a mouse or a reptile, you're chayav. The Tanya of Lezer, Shabbos, a person kills a lice on Shabbos, it's like you're killing a camel. The Chachamim hold that killing lice is permitted. So the fact that the Chachamim argue when they say you're allowed to kill lice, the Gemara at this stage understands that just like you're allowed to kill lice on Shabbos, you're allowed to kill a mouse. And therefore our Mishnah, which says that killing a mouse is chayav, our Mishnah must be given like Rabbi Lezer, not like the Chachamim. Says more maskevlo Rabbi Yosef, ad kan le'plig avon aleidu Rabbi Lezer lo bekinon with lice in a poverova. It doesn't procreate. Avoshash kotzum mosan poverova no pligi. It means like this. When the Rabbi Lezer and the Chachamim argue, they only argue about lice. In the olden days, there was the Gemara, the Shulchan Aruch, and the Rambam all paskin that lice don't procreate. The way they increase is they come automatically through dirt. If you leave dirt around, it changes into lice. They did not see lice creating new children. They didn't see such thing as eggs of lice, etc. There's a very big problem nowadays. Halacha, which Pachat Yitzchak, Estechemen, and others all ask the kasha. And nowadays, scientists have found that lice do lay eggs. There's a number of approaches to answer this question. One approach is that we're talking about a certain kind of lice, not the normal kind of lice. And this kind of lice indeed does not have eggs. Alternatively is, since the eggs were so small, Chazal considered it as if the eggs don't exist. Either way, the lice of the Chachamim did not procreate, rather they just automatically came into being from dirt. So therefore, the Torah will explain this outside, and we'll discuss it in a minute. The Torah says you're not allowed to kill. Where does the Torah say you're not allowed to kill on Shabbos? From Eilim, that they would shech the rams for their skins. Now, Eilim are big animals that procreate. They have relations and have children. So therefore, the question is, when the Torah says you're not allowed to kill an animal, do we say only like Eilim that procreate, or all animals? So God says, V'shneim lo lamdu elam Eilim. They both learned it from rams. From rams, ma Eilim, just like rams. There's an issa to kill. All of them, you're not any animal you're not allowed to kill. That means they hold that only something which can have children, only something which gives birth to a child, only that is allowed to kill. But a mosquito and lice, I should say more, different ones which don't procreate, one is allowed to kill. Do the lice not have eggs? The Baruch Hu provides food for the whole world, from the biggest animals to the smallest animals. The biggest animal is the ve'ein, a huge kind of buffalo of some sort, and Beit Zechinim is referring to the smallest of the animals. What's the smallest animal? The Gemara understands in the Havamina that Beit Zechinim is eggs of lice. Eggs of lice is mashma that lice lay eggs. Is a raya that lice do indeed procreate. So he said, Minahu demiku Beit Zechinim. It doesn't mean eggs of lice. Beit Zechinim is not eggs of lice. Beit Zechinim is a kind of lice which is called Beit Zechinim, but it's not actually eggs of lice. But Tanya, we have another brayso, Tfuya Beit Zechinim. There are two kinds of creatures. One's called Tfuya, one's called Beit Zechinim. And the more understood again that Beit Zechinim means eggs of lice. And it's more Minu Dmiku Beit Zechinim. Again, it's only talking about a species which is called Beit Zechinim, but it doesn't actually mean eggs of lice. Rashi points out that he does not know where this price actually comes from. I don't know what this price is referring to. Okay. Says the Gemara, the it does procreate, and even so, Rabbi Yisrael's patas is a vine, not like Rava. The Rava said that everybody agrees regarding mice and rats and things like that, that it is also to kill it. And here we see that Rabbi Yisrael patas. You are making a steer from hunting, from trapping to killing. Regarding hunt trapping, you're right that there's a machlokas. Why? Because since it's ein b'minoy nitzat, it's not something which people normally trap. That's why we b'shua patas. But regarding killing it, everybody agrees you're chayav. So you say it like this. When we talk about trapping animals, then it depends. If it's b'minoy nitzat, everybody says you're chayav. If it's ein b'minoy nitzat, it's machlokas tanoim. When regarding killing animals, so then, if it's something which is porba, robo, procreates, everybody agrees you're chayav. If it's something which does not procreate, then it's a machlokas Rabbi Lezer and the Chacham. If a person traps an animal for its own sake, it's chayav. But if he does it in order to avoid it, it's potter. We had the machlokas melocha she'en tzricha legufa. Rabbi Yehuda says you're chayav. Rabbi Shimon says you're potter. The Gemara now brings 3 places, 3 different mishnayos in which Rabbi Yehuda Anasi passed in like Rabbi Shimon, meaning that in 3 different places Rabbi Yehuda Anasi brings a mishnah which is like Rabbi Shimon, that melacha she'en tzricha legufa, melacha which is not done for its own sake, is potter. So God says, Man Tana, Rabbi Shimon he, melacha she'en tzricha legufa potter. That since the Mishnah says that hunting an animal not for its own sake, not to catch the animal, but rather to get rid of the animal, is potter. That's like Shimon who says, "Melacha she'en tzricha legufa is potter." A mefus musa b'Shabbos, somebody who pops a blister on Shabbos. If he wants to make an entrance chayav, if you take out moisture is potter. Man tana Rabbi Shimon he, melacha she'en tzricha legufa potter. It's a lack of Shimon that says melacha she'en tzricha legufa is potter. It's not melacha b'Shabbos. If you want that, you shouldn't bite it. It's bite you one pot. And it's according to Rabbi Yehuda, melacha she'en tzricha legufa is chayav. So if you trap a snake that it shouldn't bite, or you pop a blister in order to get rid of the pus, or you trap an animal to get rid of it, you're chayav in all those 3 cases. Why are you chayav in all those 3 cases? Because you're melacha she'en tzricha legufa is chayav. Rabbi Yehuda Anasi in 3 different places told us that from Shimon. One regarding popping a blister, one regarding a snake, and one in our Mishnah regarding trapping an animal. And in all these cases, he said that at the end of the day, it's a melacha she'en tzricha legufa, and a melacha she'en tzricha legufa, one is potter. Omar Shmuel, Ashur dag b'nayom. Person takes a fish out of the sea. And Jesus explains we're talking about where you took it out, but you didn't trap it. Because if you trapped it, you're chayav anyway because of trapping. But you just took it out of the sea that it's got less water. If an area of a cellar, a coin, which is a cellar, gets dried out on the fish, then that part of the fish has died. Fish needs water to live. So if a part of the fish has dried up because it's got no water, so that part of the fish is as if it's died, and therefore one is chayav. Between its fins. I mean, it's not anywhere around the body. If a bit of the skin dries up, it's considered dead. But rather only between the fins. Between the fins, if a bit of the skin of the animal, of the fish, gets completely dried out, then you can know that that fish is dead. It won't live. Even if it's not completely dry, even if only a bit of slime comes out of the fish, it's a raya, that's a proof the fish will die. And it's just like we had in our Mishnah. Now, if a person wounds an animal, that's a form of netilas neshama, of killing it. Why? Because by hitting it very hard, the blood bursts. The only reason the blood doesn't come out is because the hide, it traps it. Similarly, by a fish, one can be chayav for killing a fish by just drying out part of the fish. Omar Bahamdui, Omar Shmuel. The person puts his hand inside the womb of an animal, and he kills the baby inside. Chayav. My time. Omar Rava Bahamdui asked me, he explained to me. These two, 3 lines, the Gemara actually bring up a very lot in halacha and ma'aseh. I explain very slowly. The Gemara says if a person sticks an animal in a hand inside the womb of a cow on Shabbos, kills the fetus of the cow, one is chayav. Why is one chayav? The Gemara, according to Rashi and many other Rishonim, the reason one is chayav is because of koitza, because of, just like you're pulling an orange off a tree, you're pulling the uba, you're pulling the fetus off the mother. It's plucking. It's a koitza, it's plucking. Now, where do you see such a form of plucking? There was a kind of plant that used to grow on brambles and thorns. It was called hops. Now, it didn't grow from the ground. Off the plant, it would grow, something would come off the plant. So you would pull something off the plant, and that was called plucking. That was called koitza on Shabbos. Similarly, when you pull the fetus off the mother, you're doing a form of koitza. Now, the Rishonim asked the kasha, why are you chayav because of koitza? Why are you not chayav because of netilas neshama? You have killed the fetus. Says the Meiri, from here we see there's no din of life to a fetus. A fetus is not considered alive. Since it's not considered alive, therefore you can't be chayav because of netilas neshama. You can only be chayav because of koitza. But Moshe Feinstein in English, Moshe brings this down. Regarding, is a Jewish person allowed to help a non-Jewish person to miscarry, to do an abortion? Let's say you're a Jewish doctor, and a non-Jewish person comes in and says, I want to have an abortion. And you've got medication that can give it that will do an abortion. Alternatively, you could do a medical procedure that can do an abortion. Is one allowed or forbidden? Says Moshe that from this Meiri it is clear that there's no din chayim for an uba. Because if there would be a din of life for an uba, then the Gemara wouldn't have said Yechai because of Oikedavar Migiduloi, of kind of koitza. One would be chayav because of the tzilas neshama, of killing an animal on Shabbos. The problem is the Ramban himself, Ramaisa, argues with Rashi. And the Ramban says that the Gemara over here says Yechayev because of the tzilas neshama, because of killing the animal. Why does the Gemara compare it to pulling hops, this kind of plant, off another plant? The reason the Gemara compares it is the Gemara is just trying to find a similar case where you've got a life within a life, just like you're chayav for koitza for one plant off another plant, you're also chayav for killing a fetus off its mother, but not because you're chayav for koitza. And the Ramban says, I'll prove it to you. Because where in the world have we ever seen that there should be a din koitza, a din of harvesting, on a live being? Koitza is only on plants, not on live animals. So again, we've got a big machlokas pshat in this Gemara. The Gemara here tells us that killing a fetus from the cow is asa, is chai. And the Gemara brings over here, the Rishonim say two different explanations. Either you chai because of koitza, or because you chai because of the tzilas neshama. The Gemara, the nafkamina would be, is an issa to do an abortion on a non-Jewish, or even a Jewish person, because of murder. The Jewish person, obviously, there's a term by nefashos, and there's other issues. By Ben Noach, Goik is more chomer regarding the tzilas neshama. Okay, this is a very, you see this, and the shaila is when the Gemara compares it to the hops which growing on brambles, is pshat that we're comparing it because that's a koitza, that's a kind of harvesting, or is it just a similar thing where you see a life depending on another life, also a plant depending on another plant? And now the Gemara says a similar kind of idea. Omar Abai, Haiman de Tolash, top of Chesem Odalef, Pitro, fungus, Mu'una de Chatzba, from the handle of a barrel. Let's say you've got fungus growing on a barrel, so that if you pull it off, so that's the same idea. You're pulling off something from its growth. If a person pulls a plant out of a plant pot, and the plant pot does not have any holes, one is potter. So how can you say that you're chayav? Here we say you're potter. It's not its normal way of growing. Over here, it's normal way of growing. That means over here, it's the normal way of growing is for fungus to grow on the bough. The normal way for hops is to grow on brambles. The normal way for an uber, for a fetus, is to grow on the cow. Therefore, you're chayav. But when a person pulls a plant out of a plant pot which doesn't have any holes, that is not a normal way. And since it's not the normal way, therefore, what is autumn? Okay, sure. This is where we said we're going to get up to. Appreciate you joining. How are you? You okay?
Yeah. Oh, Good.
Very good. Okay, Hatzlach with everything. Have a very good Shabbos. Okay, we'll be in touch.
Good Shabbos.
Hatzlach, Kol Tov, Bye.